Hi, Apartment Therapy. Welcome to our 700 square foot apartment in Brooklyn, New York. So when you first walk in, we have like our sort of living room area, which then turns into our dining room, which is also a second work from home space since we both work from here. Everything's kind of all in one, so we needed to figure out how to separate them. We did that mainly with carpets. I feel like that gives everywhere its own area. We joke that my style is called raccoon chic because I love trash. For me, the worst thing is when you can just feel the factory on something. Like I want it to feel like there's a 10% chance that it might be haunted. Okay, this is the best chair ever. It came from a vintage seller in Colorado called Here in Heaven. We kind of actually built the whole room around it because this was the first thing we had. And I will probably never, ever get rid of it. We found this vintage couch on Facebook Marketplace and I was hesitant to get it because I feel like a lot of nice vintage things you like have to be so precious about and you have to like keep them clean and you don't, like you want to collect them. But we have been working to find like, what's the sweet spot between it's still cool and nice and unique, but also like the dog has to be allowed on everything. Like I'm never ever gonna have a couch where the dog can't be on it because that would be so sad for her and me. And so we are kind of working in that of like, everything in here is cool and unique, but also like it can get up a little, like we're not too precious about it. And I think it's interesting when it is like a little off, like it's a little dinged up. So this table I found on Facebook Marketplace in Colorado, it's an outside table. I think it's like a 1970s Russell Woodard. And so we had it outside at our house in Colorado, but when we were moving, we didn't think we were gonna have an outside, but I insisted on bringing it to use inside. And this wall is made up of mostly all wallpaper samples because we wanted to do wallpaper on this wall. We couldn't decide, Lucas and I couldn't pick one. And then I was sitting there thinking like, but they all look so good together. I wish I could do all of them. And then I realized I could just make them into a gallery wall. So that's how this happened, saving my relationship from another wallpaper fight. Yeah, like sometimes we'll have little date nights where we sit at the table and pretend like we're eating at a fancy restaurant and not eating buttered noodles. This is the kitchen. It is disproportionately large for the apartment, which is nice. We use a lot of the kitchen storage for other stuff. Like we have like an extra dog bed or like random things like that because we just I don't know who has this many pots and pans. It seems like way too many pots and pans. So we just put like whatever we can't fit in other closets kind of ends up in here. So if you open a random cabinet, it could be filled with candles or it could be extra clothes. You never know. This is our patio. This has been a lifesaver moving from Colorado and having a backyard. Probably the most interesting thing about the patio is that we realized that Billie was putting all of her bones in the plants. And so we decided to just fill up these boxes with dirt so that she would have little dig boxes, which is really cute, but also kind of sad, depending on how you want to look at it. One of my favorite things in our house is this vintage lawn chair. I love like a grandma floral, but I love that it's also kind of trashy at the same time. Definitely when it's nice out, we'll come out at least once a day and like have coffee out here. You can kind of trick yourself into thinking you're not 30 feet from the highway. Welcome to the bedroom. We needed to make this space a lot of things. It's the bedroom, it's my desk, it's our workout area. This was here when we moved in. It's like a big IKEA armoire. So this is Luke's closet, and then also just like linens, miscellaneous items, because he doesn't have enough clothes to fill this. Yep, so that's my closet. It came with a bunch of built-in stuff in there. I would open it, but a lot of stuff would fall out. We have a taller bed so that we can keep stuff underneath it. So we use that for storage a lot. We have just worked to put up this gallery wall. It's mostly like found and collected items, things from different experiences. Like we have a bingo card from a magic show we went to, or we have an old photo of Lucas's dad playing football, a needlepoint that my friend made of Billie, the card that I got when Lucas proposed to me. So it's all just like things that are very personal to us, and almost all the frames I got either at Goodwill, thrift stores, or just found on the sidewalk. I work at this desk over here, so we just kind of tried to carry like the coziness and the decor all the way through here. Part of that is this dresser that I also got at that place in New Jersey. I love just like kind of haphazardly throwing stuff on the dresser, like so it doesn't look super staged or decorated. I'll just find random things that I think would be cool jewelry holders. But yeah, so then that gets us over to the desk where I work. The important thing to me with like having a desk in our bedroom was that it didn't feel like we had a desk in our bedroom. Like I wanted it to feel like a natural extension of everything else going on in here. Like I didn't want like my ergonomic chair and like making it feel like this like very corporate setup, because then I would just be in bed looking at where I work all day. So because we had so much wood and so many nice wood pieces in here, we wanted to do something kind of lighter that didn't feel like it was taking up all this space. So we got this on Facebook Marketplace, like everything else. I have my rotary phone, which is one of the most useless things in this whole apartment, but I think it's so funny to pretend like I have a work phone on my desk. No one else thinks it's funny, but you know. So we have a Peloton. It is sometimes used and most often used to hold our dirty clothes, which is also pretty useful. This is kind of one thing we've struggled with like incorporating into the rest of the decor, but when it's under a pile of clothes, it fits in much better. Welcome to our bathroom. Probably the most interesting thing about the bathroom is we have this sign. Before we moved, it said, "Have a nice poop." And then after we moved, it said, "Have an ice pop." Oh, so we figured we would just leave that. Kind of shows the journey, and also maybe we've matured. I don't know. It's a pretty functional bathroom. I think it's pretty good size for a New York apartment. That being said, there's not a lot of counter space, so I usually get ready and like keep all my stuff out in the hallway where we have the vanity. We have this vanity out in the hallway, so we can kind of turn what would be basically just useless space into something we can use. It's probably like a foot wider than a normal hallway, so that's how we were able to make it more of a functional space. This vanity we just found in someone's trash. I called Lucas and I was like, "Oh, like, will you help me come pick this up?" And he's like, "Are we gonna sell it?" And I was like, "Totally, we're gonna sell it and we're gonna make money on it." And then I got him to help me carry back here, and then obviously we did not sell it. But it's helpful because we can keep like all of our extra bathroom stuff in here, makeup, what have you, and it just kind of turns this into like a real space. I found her when I was vintage shopping with my mother-in-law, and I picked it up and I really wanted it, and she was like, "Please put that down." But I won the battle and I got it. And when we brought it home, we're like, "I hope it's not haunted." And then Billie, the dog, barked at it for like 10 minutes. So we're like, "It's definitely haunted." At one point in time, she fell over and her head fell off, which I feel like is also not a good sign for the haunting. But I think she's just the right amount of creepy. So this wallpaper is peel and stick. We got it on Love vs. Design, where you can like pick out a pattern and customize all the colors. So I think this was originally like some sort of tan, and we chose it as green and red. I just found this on the internet and I thought it was cool. I liked the colors. I like that she has armpit hair. I like that there's a boobie sticking out. I just thought we had this at our old house in Denver, and it weirdly just worked in this hallway. So I like having just like different kinds of textures all over the place. I feel like it gives the home more warmth, more depth. So velvet, like crushed velvet, crochet, kind of furry, fluffy pillows. We have jute rugs. We have, vintage nylon. We have some like woven materials. The chairs and table are a weird fiberglass material, but they look almost wicker. Yeah, it just makes it feel like it has more character. I feel like you can tell when they don't really have a story. You can tell they feel kind of flat. And I feel like we like to find things that just look like they've been around for a while, look like they were well made. Moving from Colorado was like this big adventurous F-it moment for us. We're like, we might as well do this now or we're never gonna do it. It's this big crazy thing. And I think this apartment kind of reflects that. It feels like F it all over the place. Like why not do crazy wallpaper? Why not do put holes in the wall to hang up our art. Like it's a now or never situation. We're not gonna be here forever, so we might as well have this reflect this weird time in our lives where we're just don't know what we're doing and we're just gonna put colorful stuff everywhere. And then of course, like everyone, I have those moments where I'm like, I hate this, I hate everything, we gotta start over. But then the next day you find something else to love. To me, home is work in progress. It means like nothing's ever done. It kind of feels like a creative project that can be forever unfinished, and you can keep adding to it, and it can change every day, and it can grow, and you can just make it something that you get to work on forever. Yeah, I think that's my favorite part, is that you just get to keep going.